Now why you okay, oh, this is where I'm going to be spending the next 10 to 15 days.
This is urine pot.
Okay. So this is the BMT. What do you call this place? BMT what?
Yeah. Transplant.
Uh,
Yeah, Doctor Suresh. Start chemotherapy.
okay. Uh, it's actually a confined space.
Okay, show me your hand now.
Uh, Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you back here again. Yes, so this video is going to be a continuation of the transplant story. Yes. So now there are some things that I didn't mention in the first story. You know, before the transplant, I was giving some rules and regulations, do's and don'ts. Now I'm going to be listing them for you. Some might sound very sorry. I've been having cough for a few days now. So now the first thing I was told was I wasn't expected to take a bath for 15 days. Yes, you heard right. I was supposed not to have a bath for 15 days. But I was expected to do sit baths. I'm sure most of you know what sit bath is. Every morning I have to, not just every morning anyway, I think it was every 3 hours or I mean, yeah, maybe every 3 hours I was supposed to have a sit bath. You know, there's this thing they use for sit baths, and I just what I do is to get warm water, which is already available inside. You know, there's a washroom inside the isolation ward. Warm water, and you sit on it. I have to sit on it for like I think 5 to 10 minutes every 3 hours. Yes. Then there were three different kind of gargles I was supposed to do, or I'm expected to do each day. And those three different kind of gargles, I have to do them like 9 times in a day. Yes, 9 times in a day. So I was supposed to do gargles 9 times in a day. And now the reason for not having a bath, or the reason for not taking a bath, is to prevent infections. Yes, because I was told that infection was my number one enemy in that place. If I get infection, the possibility of death is very high. Yes, because you know, at that point there was no blood more or less in my body. I had no immune system. The chemotherapy had killed off all immunity I had. So if I get an infection, there was no way my body would have been able to fight it off. Then another thing was that I was supposed to be eating every 2 hours. As in, I kid you not, I'm not even kidding here. Every 2 hours, food comes. Every 2 hours. And it was quite challenging for me, because being that I'm a Nigerian, more or less a foreigner in that country, and I'm not very used to their kind of food. So getting something for me to eat was a challenge. So what they do then was that every morning they'll have to call from the kitchen to ask me what I want, and they'll have to tell me what's available for me to pick from. So most of the time it was usually either boiled egg and tea, or milk, just plain milk, or it was there's this thing they do, more or less like a French toast. Yes, it's a French toast, let me call it that. So it's usually between boiled egg or French toast, or yes, at the point they introduced custard. And thankfully, I'm not one that like custard though. Before now, I never used to like custard, but there's a certain way they make that custard that makes it very interesting. So yes, custard was added to the meal, and thankfully I also had cornflakes. Yes, I also had conflict. So like every 2 hours there was food. And when I don't want to eat or I don't feel like eating, in fact, aside the food, there was also juice. So I had like frequent supply of fruit juice. In fact, I remember then one of my nurses, which is Suresh, they wake me up, Juliet, it's time to eat, it's time to eat, get up, get up, get up, come and eat, you must eat something. And the reason is because they said if I don't eat anything, I could get stomach infection and I could die. Yes. And even at that, before eating, there's this it's like a suspension or what, I don't know, it's a liquid kind of medicine. I'm supposed to take a spoon of it before I eat and another spoon after I eat. All those things they were just doing was just to make sure I don't get an infection and I come out from the transplant successfully. Yes, then I was also not supposed to brush. Yes, I was not supposed to brush my mouth. Why? Because at that point in time, my gums, there was one thing they were always looking out for. If I had sores, mouth sores, or sore anywhere in my body, yes. So if I brush, because of how hard the toothbrush is, I could get mouth sores and I could get infections from there. So I wasn't supposed to brush my mouth, at least not with a toothbrush. But I was supposed to be doing that. That was the reason why I had to be doing frequent gargles. So I had to be doing gargles like every 2-3 hours, just to to make sure I don't get infected in any way. Then now what happened? So after the whole transfusion and all that, it was expected, because they had given me back my own stem cells, so it was expected that my stem cells start producing blood. Remember, my blood had been drained before the whole transplant, so it was expected that my stem cells start producing blood. We waited for like 2 days, 3 days, and in all of these they kept running tests. I had tests every morning. They wake me up for them to take samples for my tests. So from the tests they were running, it was showing that my marrow, my bone marrows were not producing blood. In fact, I got to a stage my skin became kind of transparent. Then I started seeing some pink things. I don't know, in fact my body was turning pink. So it was more or less like they declared a state of emergency. And at that point I needed a medical attendant or somebody that came with me to donate blood. But since I wasn't with anybody, I was just alone there. Thumbnail of this particular video, you see the faces of people I would call my heroes. Yes, because I don't know, without them I don't know if I would have made it out from there, because it was when they gave me blood that, in fact, it was the blood they gave me that actually boosted mine, to, I don't know whether I would say to start functioning or to start performing. You can see how nice these people are. Like, some of the nurses, they just voluntarily came out to give me blood. They are not people that I had regular interactions with. I think I just met them maybe once or twice when I was in the ward downstairs before I was moved to the isolation center, and I had 1 or 2 conversations with them. Yes, so as it is, it was their blood they used to replenish my own. So I had about, I think, 5 nurses donate blood to me freely. Then they also donated platelets. Yes, you should know what platelets is. It's something they also get out of blood. I don't know how to explain it. Medical people will know that. But I also got platelets from them. Actually thank them once again for what they did for me. It might look like an easy thing to do, but trust me, it's not easy. It's not everybody that would just come out to say they want to give blood to a stranger. Even people I know that donate blood in the hospital, they donate and they pay them, but these ones did it for free. Like, they just did it voluntarily for free. And it was because of the state I was in at that point in time. I was in a critical state, and just 5 of them just laid down themselves to give blood to me. So yes, I'm especially thanking them, using this opportunity to thank them once again. So I had like I had that transfusion for like 3 days or 4 days. Yes. So when they saw that, I had enough, at least in the meantime, to help boost mine, I think that was when they stopped. Yes, I think I did that transfusion for like 3 days or 4 days. Then I also had the platelet transfusion. I did blood transfusion for 3 days, then platelet transfusion for 3 days too. Yes. So at that point, all they just needed to do was just to keep monitoring me and to keep, making sure I was adhering to all the rules and the regulations. Yeah, so it was after those 5 lovely people donated blood to me that I think it then boosted my own blood, my own body, or my own bone marrows to start producing blood of its own. Yes. So I'm going to end this for now. So just watch out for the third and final part of the story. Yes. The reason why I'm breaking it is so the video won't be too long. For at least one video will not be too long. So see you in my next video. Bye.